the best part about me fighting Canelo is going to be when I pull off one of the greatest upsets in the sport of boxing and leave people with their jaws on the floor.
All right, on Friday night, Jake Paul is back looking for his 8th professional win when he takes on veteran Andre August. That's a fight you can watch live on DAZN. The co-main event is actually a terrific women's world title fight between former undisputed champion Franchon Crews-Dezurn and Shadacia Green. Jake, I was watching the press conference, and not a lot of fireworks between you and Andre August, but plenty of smoke between Shadacia and Franchon. I don't recall Shadacia being this surly a couple of years ago. You seem to be having a pretty profound impact on her.
Yeah, look, I'm excited for that fight. I got hyped up. That made me super excited, and it's cool, like I think that makes the fight more interesting. And Shadeja even said it, like her nickname is the Sweet Terminator, so she's normally sweet and nice, but apparently Franchon spit on her. So I mean, of course, that's gonna come up years later, and man, there's clearly some unsolved business there.
Franchon didn't deny she spit on her either, so there's definitely some mess between those
Wild.
two.
That's wild, yo.
So let's talk about you. Last summer, you beat Nate Diaz in kind of a grudge match. What was your thinking after that fight, and how did we get to Andre August?
Yeah, my thinking has been stay active. My goal, I wrote it down at the beginning of the year, is fight 3 times. So I had Tommy, Nate, and it was like, let's finish off the goals for this year and get another one in, staying active on the path to world champion. And that's what my coaches are really pushing on me. It's like, oh, you want this, Jake? All right, you have to fight and stay active and stay in camp, and taking their advice and their leadership as well, because they've been in the game for so long and know how to get there, right? Jay Leon, a world champion. Third, as a coach, has tons of world champions and experience there. Same with Larry Wade. So we all have the same mindset, and it's about putting it into action, and bettering myself.
You could pick basically anyone out there on this level. Why Andre August? What are you looking for in this particular opponent?
Yeah, I'm just looking for experience under the lights, a challenge, getting some good rounds, and putting taking what I did in camp and putting it into action, which, as a lot of people in the boxing industry know, you could be amazing in the ring and be great in sparring, and then doing it all on fight night is a little bit different of a skill set, and it's about getting better at that, the nerves, the pressure, dealing with all of these things, and it's becoming more second nature. And that's what I'm going to need when I get to these bigger names, these tougher fights, more rounds, etc.
This August fight feels pretty high risk, low reward for you. Is the upside just that you can get experience against opponents like this to prepare you for bigger things next year?
It's delayed gratification. These fights that I'm taking now are going to pay off in the long run. And when I'm in tougher bouts in a few years, fighting 12 rounds against the best people in the sport, I'm going to look back at fights like these and be thankful that I did them, to go through maybe at moments of adversity, to go through more camps, because if you don't have a fight, that the training is wildly different. You could think you're working hard, but there's something about signing up to fight another man that just takes things to a whole nother level of preparation. So this fight's gonna have a lot of delayed gratification down the line.
Your previous opponents have offered kind of some built-in motivation, whether it was Tommy Fury and Nate Diaz and all the talking that went around. Even Anderson Silva and Tyron Woodley were two UFC legends. What have you done to try to find the motivation for this fight?
Man, I don't know if I don't think I use motivation that much in life, because it's very short term, and it burns up really fast. I think what more people need to do is figure out a goal and commit to the requirements of what it takes to reach that goal and not deviate at all. And that's really what it's about. I think the love for the sport and doing this because I'm passionate about it is more important, and getting to those goals that I know I can achieve, and doing what is required of me to get there.
So I'd like to think that I know a good amount about combat sports, but on the same night that you're fighting Andre August, I'm reading on social media that KSI, your longtime rival, is going to spar somebody named Speed and stream it online. What is the deal with that?
Yeah, man, it's pretty wild. I think first and foremost, it's crazy for KSI to be, hurting his distribution partner in DAZN. It just shows what type of businessman he is, to basically be saying a you to them. But on top of that, it's me living in this kid's head to him try to always one up me as a 30-year-old doing a sparring match with his goal to be getting more views, which I think is cute. Get the views. We're chasing two different things here. I'm chasing legacy, experience, a world championship, building and growing the sport of boxing, a WBC world championship as the co-main event, getting Shadasia Green to be a superstar. He's wants to prove that he's going to get more hype, but I think it's backfiring just simply because everyone's now more talking about my event. It's creating more buzz, and at the end of the day, he's gonna get some views and be happy, and if that's what he wants in his life, then go for it. I have no hate. There's enough room in this world for everybody. I can build my skyscraper as high as I want without trying to affect someone else's, but what he's trying to do is take down my skyscraper.
You mentioned two different goals, Jake, but the reality is you do want that matchup with KSI at some point. You want it. We both know the zone wants it. Do you think in 2024 KSI is going to want it?
I don't think he'll fight me ever. I said that before I fought Gib in my first professional fight. You can go back to the video that I posted on YouTube of me sitting in Big Bear in Shane Mosley's gym saying, once he sees what I do to Gib, he's never going to want to fight me. And I still believe that. Unfortunately, it's too much risk for him, and I don't think his ego could handle that loss. So as much as I want the fight, I just don't think it ever will happen, honestly.
So you're taking this Andre August fight because you see it as the next step to your pursuit of a world title. How do you get there? Have you mapped out kind of the pathway to get into the rankings, to become eligible, to get that world title opportunity?
Yeah, look, it's one step at a time, but treating myself like a young boxing prospect. So first and foremost, staying super active, fighting 3-4 times a year, fighting people with similar or more experience than me to push myself, working up the ranks, 8-round fight, 10-round fights, all of these things, staying in camp. And when the timing is right, we'll identify what steps are needed to be made to get to that level and to execute the game plan of becoming a world champion. But it's going to be a bumpy path. It's going to be a rough path. It's not going to be easy at all, but that's what I signed up for.
Canelo Álvarez, who is the undisputed champion at 168, for a lot of years, he would often say, nah, I'm not going to fight Jake Paul whenever it was brought up. He's kind of opened that door a little bit in recent interviews about the possibility of fighting you. Do you think that is becoming more and more realistic, whether it is next year, the year after? Do you see that window opening up to an extent?
For sure. I still fully believe that it will happen. And I've believed it since the first day I said it. It just makes sense all the way around the board. And as I grow in my experience and as he, comes to the end of his career in terms of fighting the number one people in the world, he's gonna want to go out of the sport with hundreds of millions of dollars, and what better way than to fight me. So I think it's very interesting, and I think because of my weight, because of my height, and me gaining more experience in the next 24 months, it actually becomes a really interesting matchup.
Is that a be careful what you wish for, though? Because a lot of guys have size, a lot of guys have height. Do you really want that getting in the ring with Canelo?
100%. No doubt in my mind that I want that. I know what I'm capable of. I know that I can rise to occasions. And a lot of times, these fighters are filled with fear and think that they can't do something. And if that's the case, then they're right. I'm getting better on a day-to-day basis in this sport. And the best part about me fighting Canelo is going to be when I pull off one of the greatest upsets in the sport of boxing and leave people with their jaws on the floor. So, it's all fun and games. People could laugh at it, can doubt me, all of these things. It's nothing new. Since I was a kid, that's been the case. Me saying I'm going to do something, everybody in the world, besides maybe my brother, my mom, and my dad, thinking it's a joke, and then me accomplishing it times 10. So, can be sweet. We can sit here, but I believe it's going to happen, and I believe I'll win.
We know you're ready to go. Friday night, Andre August live on DAZN in Orlando, Florida. Jake, good to talk to you, man, and good luck on Friday.